Hey everybody, thanks again for stopping by the channel. Really appreciate your support recently. We definitely need it. If you do end up enjoying the video, please give us a like and subscribe if you're brand new for more stuff like this and gun reviews. So today we're actually going to be reviewing the Steelwater gun safe that we acquired last year. You may say, why Steelwater? Well, why not? So anyway, this is one of their I believe their largest option. At the time, it was between this and it was the Old Glory gun safe, which is seriously almost identical to this in features and appearance and everything. At the time, it was a little bit more expensive than this, which actually is made in China. And exported for Steelwater. With the reviews, everything looked like this was a good buy. At the time, this was significantly cheaper. We were looking for something American made. This has gone up in price quite a bit since last year. Still a reasonable price for what you get. We'll talk about pricing in a little bit. Looking at the exterior here, we have our door. We have our electric keypad, which is battery operated. You can remove this, and there is a keyhole for a very unique key, which I don't want to show you, but we have it. These spokes here on the wheel are removable. The door is obviously removable. This is about 600 pounds, so you might ask, how do you remove it? With much difficulty. But anyway, these are ornamental, polished, or I guess we'll say decorations for the hinges. These just unscrew, they're not necessary. But let me get my notes out again because I almost forgot how thick this is. So this door is 5.5 inches thick. The entire thing is made of 9-gauge steel. So it has plenty of protection from fires and radiation, whatever else, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so with more expensive safes, you may get a little bit higher gauge steel, but you are paying a lot more money. But for the price range that this is, 9-gauge is actually really good for what you're paying. So anyway, you can see down here, we do have this plugged in. You don't have to plug it in, but to use some of the features that is on this, you do. Like, just to get into it, you just need batteries and the key, and you can get into it. So let me open this a little bit, and we'll see as we open it, our lights turn on. But first, what I want to show you is we have the cross bolts on the side. We have 6 of them. Then on the top, we also have 3. And on the bottom, which you can't see, we also have 3. Not every safe has these on the top, which is really cool. So as you can see, the door is super thick. You wouldn't want this falling on your toe or anything like that. I don't think steel-toed boots would stop that, but it's not coming off. I don't even want to know how the moving company got it on, but that's a story for later. So anyway, as you can see, we have plenty of storage. We have a door organizer here, and we have plenty of firearms and ammo. And I don't know if I mentioned, but this is the newer version. This is the Extreme Duty 2-hour fire rated safe. This is the updated version. The model number is actually the HD 724 228 EMP. Apparently that is what this safe is. Now, as I said, this is manufactured in China. But, as far as our experience with it, it's pretty good quality. Pretty awesome quality, actually. You saw that it's got a power outlet to give power to these nice lights. We have a dehumidifier, which is down here, right there. We also have other power outlets here. You can plug other stuff in if you need to. The LEDs were an upgrade over the base, and so is the dehumidifier. And we got all that last year for a price of $2,986. Right now, these retail for right around $3,700. So they definitely have gone up, and that's not with upgrades. So obviously with the upgrades, we got a really good price, and the wait time wasn't too bad. As I said, we're looking at the Old Glory safe. However, the lead time on that was like 12 weeks or something, and it was very similar price to what it is now. But nowadays, the Old Glory still is a little bit more expensive, a few hundred more expensive than this. So, but you're getting essentially the same thing. So let's go over some more of the features. They recommend 33 to 39 long guns in this safe. And just in case you're wondering, we even our 50-inch long Browning 10 gauge does clear and fit in here. So that's the kind of height you're getting. And they say that the maximum amount, yeah, there it is up there. They say that the maximum amount of long guns is 45, but I'm pretty sure we have fit more, and the door still will close with great difficulty, but it will. Interior dimensions, it's about 67 and 3/8 of an inch tall by 38 and 1/8 inch by wide by 21 inches deep. And if you're fitting this in a tight area, and you want to know how big it is on the outside, it is 72 by 42 by 27 and 5/8 of an inch. It fits in this corner pretty good because we don't have anything in the way. But the only issue with putting it in this corner was support, because I don't know if I mentioned, but this thing weighs 1,250 pounds. And yeah, like I said, the door is like 600 of that. So pretty darn heavy. This house, not unfortunately, but it's just the way a lot of these are built. They're actually up on cinder blocks, and then they build the frame on top of that. So we actually reinforced the floor right about here. There's some joists, and we actually had to dig down the ground and place a bunch of cinder blocks, and then we got some screw pole jacks and actually supported the joists just in case. I mean, the floor probably was fine, but just on this type of house where there literally is no foundation, it's just raised up on a wood frame, we wanted to add a little bit of support. So that's what we did there, just because we were a little worried about how much this thing weighs, putting it in this corner. Moving on, we're going to talk a little bit about how you move something like this, what you can expect for delivery. We are out in the middle of nowhere at this location. The road to get in here is basically just gravel and dirt. I mean, it's very rocky, very bendy. Generally, you're not going to see too many larger vehicles like utility vehicles or shipping vehicles on this road. And we're really worried about how this was going to get here, but it did come here in a truck, like a box truck, relatively large. And you can't just expect the shipping company to get it in your house for you. You also, for something like this, you need to hire a moving company. Basically, you got to call them and say, hey, I have this size safe, it weighs this much, can you do this? And they said, yeah, we'll bring our piano dolly, which apparently was almost not enough. When the safe was dropped off, they got here, and was it a struggle getting it in. I mean, the door had to be removed, so they had to take this door off, and apparently that was a huge pain. So they did that and struggled for quite a long time getting the thing in the house, because I mean, obviously, if you put this sideways, it will pass through a normal doorway. I guess we'll see some of the issues of getting this in here. So you can see it's quite a big scratch on the floor. They definitely had some issues preserving the nice, beautiful wood finish of this. I'm just kidding. This isn't a nice floor, but that's a potential problem you may expect. It was a struggle. I mean, and I think it was 3 of them at the most that were doing this, and it was still a pain. You got to make sure that you're getting a competent delivery or moving service, someone that really has done these before, or something like this, that they really understand what they're going to be moving and installing in the house. If you don't have access to, I guess, a company getting to where you are, that can definitely be a problem. Most places, I guess, like we'll say suburban, homes, you shouldn't have a problem. You're not getting this downstairs. I don't see how you would, but I've seen crazier things. I've seen big safes in people's basements. I have no clue how they got them down there, but I cannot imagine getting something like this down some steps. But if any of you guys have done it, let us know in the comments. What is this thing supposed to be competing against or showing up as a budgetary option against? Well, one safe we've identified was the Liberty safes. That are the one that's roughly the same size. That would be their Franklin series. Now, I'm going to just go over some of the differences in price and what it offers and what you get just like base. So as I mentioned earlier, the LEDs and the dehumidifier were optional on this safe. Those type of things are optional on the Franklin safe as well, but we got the electric lock that just came with it. That's how it comes. On the Franklin, that's not the case. So anyway, the Liberty Franklin series safe that is this size actually uses 12 gauge steel. Like I said earlier, ours is 9 gauge. Ours has 20 locking bars, and the Franklin only has 13. I'm sure that's still pretty good, but obviously the more you have, the better. That the fire rating and heat rating, I mean, is pretty much the same on both of those. And like I said, like to upgrade the Franklin to get the electric lock, which is frankly really nice to have, that is like $100 or so upgrade, so an upcharge. And that safe right now is retailing for around $4,200. So that's base. If you want to add some other stuff, you can expect to pay more. Obviously, don't forget about sales tax. That always adds some money that people forget. So with this safe, you're about $3,700. With the Franklin, you're minimum like $4,200. This does have, you know, a few features that are pretty nice for a lesser price range. Obviously, the Franklin or the Liberty Franklin series is made in the United States. So if you absolutely have to have American-made stuff, we all know you're paying more. But really, I mean, you look at something like this, what you get for the price, it's pretty unreal. And I mean, at the $3,700 price range, 9 gauge steel is actually pretty good. All right, and something else I forgot to mention is it does come with these extra shelves. There's 6 of these, which you could install, you know, in this region. There's some rails here, and it did come with a bunch of little clips. Well, not clips, like, well, it's kind of hard to see. I don't know if you could see underneath there, but there's like little plastic. Yeah, you're probably not gonna. Yeah, right there. You can see that. So you can install those on the rail and place these wherever you need. However, it's kind of odd because that's where the long guns should go. So I guess if you had a shorter one, if you wanted this as the base, you could put it in like lower. And I don't know. We didn't feel like using them because it didn't make sense. Let's actually, for a second, take a look at how much stuff we actually can fit in here. So on our door, we have plenty of pockets for our door on our door organizer. It comes with these shell holders and a big pouch for a couple big pouches. So plenty of all your pistols should be able to fit. And you know, I've seen a lot of people use these shelves for pistols as well. We use it for ammo. Goes back pretty far. We have plenty of ammo storage here. Virtually most of the ammo we have, aside from a lot of shotgun shells, is in this safe. How many guns do we have in here? Let's see. I don't even know if I can count, but at the very least 33, like they say. They say 33 to 39. I think we probably had maybe around 50 guns or more stuffed in here, and it was not a good fit. The door didn't want to close. It was frankly pretty sketchy. You know, you're at risk of scratching stuff, so don't do that. They're saying 45 max. 45 max with everything fitting nicely. I think we're talking about probably like mostly rifles that do not have scopes, because the scopes take up the most area in something like this. And if you have shotguns, you know, when you think typical long gun, like your shotgun bolt action rifle, yeah, you could probably definitely fit 45 in this pretty easily, and being able to shut the door if they don't have a bunch of scopes on them. But the problem is most of our stuff has scopes, and some of them are pretty big. And plus we have some bigger ARs, like AR-10s and stuff like that sometimes. So it just makes it a lot harder to fit them. No one's breaking into this thing. Nobody. I don't care if, you know, somebody says they can or, you know, don't. This is a huge deterrent. The safe itself is for protection, but it's also a deterrent at theft in general. Somebody comes in, they see this, you know, they're probably walking right out. I mean, the amount of time just to even try and mess with it or break into it, it's not worth it for them. So if you have valuables that aren't even guns, really, I mean, you could use this for. But if you do have valuable guns and antique firearms and stuff, and you have a lot of them, you may think about something like this at a great value price. I still think $3,700 is a good price for something like this at the quality. And I think Steelwater did a pretty good job. I don't know exactly who they had manufacture their safe, but it's a pretty amazing job.
and you get a lot of good stuff for the price. I mean, we've had it for about a year at this point, and nothing's broken. We haven't had any like electrical issues, or everything in here still works just fine. The batteries are easily removable on that front cover for the locking switch. It's done its job. I mean, so far, I expect it's going to continue to do its job for a long time. I can't really see what would go wrong with it, compared to a higher dollar safe. I mean, maybe, I guess at that level we're getting down to talking about the quality of welds or something like that on a more expensive American-made safes possibly. But, even that quality looks pretty good. Definitely acceptable here. So, anyway, that is the Steelwater safe. The HD 724 228 EMP Extreme Duty 2-hour fire rated safe. Alright, we'll close this up. And you have to push it just a little bit. And it's locked. So, that's all she wrote. Alright, well, thanks again for stopping by the channel. Like I said, if this video was helpful to you in any way, please make sure to give it a like, subscribe for more, and hopefully you'll come back and see us for another video. Thanks.